Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be doing Module 3, Unit 2, Lesson 1, Establishing a Reading Routine with Divided Loyalties. And today we're going to be reading Act 1, Scene 1. So today, to be prepared, you're going to need your Divided Loyalties book, your module workbook, and a pencil. So here are our learning targets. I can determine the gist and meaning of unfamiliar words and phrases in Act 1, Scene 1 of Divided Loyalties. And I can make connections between Act 1, Scene 1 of Divided Loyalties and the information from informational text from Unit 1. Okay, so looking at these sort of underlined words, what do those words mean? I want you to think about that. What is an act and what is a scene? So an act is a big section of a play, and a scene is a small section within the act. Okay, so what does this tell you about divided loyalties? Do you maybe have an idea of what text this might be? This is a play. So think about connections, this next learning target. If you are going to be making connections, what do you think you're going to be doing if you're going to be making connections with the informational text? You're probably going to be talking about how they are similar, right? Okay, so we're going to look now at your Divided Loyalties book. Any idea what divided loyalties might mean? What do you think the book is about and why? What on the cover makes you think that? And what is content-based fiction? So divided loyalties might mean that friends or family have different beliefs in what should happen. Maybe their loyalties are divided between allegiance to the colonies and to Great Britain. I think this book is going to be about a family during the American Revolution. The cover kind of tells me that. And content-based fiction, that means that it is a historical fiction type text, right? It's something that could have happened based on real events. So take about 3 minutes, look through this book independently, and I want you to think about things you notice and wonder. In class, we're actually going to share those out. If you're at home, I want you to just think about them. All right, so this is a play, and many of the things that you noticed most likely are characteristics of the play, like acts and scenes, setting, dialogue, and character actions. All those are specific to plays. We're going to read pages 6 and 7 now and then discuss it. So if you would open to pages 6 and 7, in class we'll discuss. If you missed class and you're making up this lesson, you're just going to have to think about it. So we've got the Barton family, and it says the characters are the Barton family. Mary Barton on the bottom left is the mother of the family. She was born in England. Her brother works for the British Royal Governor, William Franklin, who is the son of Benjamin Franklin. He is loyal to Great Britain. Then we've got Abigail Barton, who is the daughter. She's 14, and she is not sure which side she supports. We have Ben, the youngest son, who is 9. He admires his older brother. Then we have Robert Barton, who is the father of the family. He is a successful merchant. He depends on trading American and British goods to make a living for the family store. His loyalty is to Great Britain. And then we have William Barton. William is the oldest son. He's 17. He's been attending a local school. He believes the colony should become an independent country. And then it says other characters: narrator, Mrs. Smith, Mr. Lawson, soldier, customer, crowd members 1 through 5, shopkeepers 1 and 2. So, what connections can you make so far? I want you to think about that. Okay, what connections can you make so far? I know that it says some are loyal to Great Britain and some want the independent colonies to be independent. So I know some of them are probably loyalists. and some are patriots. And we read those texts in Unit 1, right? The Loyalists and the Patriots texts. I'm thinking about Colonial Voices and how we had a boy who was a patriot in Colonial Voices. Okay, so just a couple examples. Right now, in class, we're going to read aloud and determine the gist of Act 1, Scene 1. Okay, this is a few pages. It's pages 8 through the top of page 14, okay? And we're going to read these pages, and we're going to need different characters in the classroom, but you are not going to be able to do that if you're doing this at home by yourself. We're going to have students read in class. So if you're at home right now, I want you to stop and I want you to read Act 1, Scene 1 independently. Okay? Now, if there's something in parentheses, that means that that's supposed to be acted out. Hang on one second, friends. Okay, so you are going to remember you're acting out the things in parentheses, and if you're reading this independently, you're going to read all of Act 1, Scene 1 and stop, okay? After you read that, come back. Now, I want to know, what do you notice from the first scene? What happened? Okay, think about the answer to that question. What happened in Act 1, Scene 1? Well, there was some discussion happening, right, with the family, and there were some worries about what was going on outside, and there's a little bit of an argument about taxes. Okay, you might think about unfamiliar words that you saw. If you look at page 10, I saw the word merchant. A merchant is someone who sells something. Governor is someone in charge of a colony or a country, whatever, state. Trader is someone who goes against what their country says or believes. Skirmish is a little fight. Pitchforks are things that are used usually in a garden, but sometimes they could be used as weapons, maybe in this instance. Rabble rousers, which would be people causing trouble. Spinning groups would be groups of, this is page 13, groups that are working to make clothing and different things like that. And then associate, if it says associate or associate, I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm looking. I actually don't even see that word. Where is it? Looking. Associate. Do not associate with them. That means talk to them. Don't talk to them. Don't be around them. Leave them alone. Okay? All right, now, I want you to think about what we read. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to record this in our module workbooks. So you need to open to page 52 of your module workbook. And we are going to record, the gist and some unfamiliar vocabulary, okay? So when you open it up, it's going to look like, this. All right, so we're going to record this. Act 1, Scene 1. Okay, so everybody should be writing this down, okay? William argues with Robert and Mary about whether, based on what happened in Boston, they should be worried in Burlington. William and Robert have a minor argument about taxes. Okay. And then we're going to record some unfamiliar vocabulary words. Okay, so we've got merchant. Shh, no, I'm not talking to myself. I'm recording a lesson right now on page 10. We've got governor on page 10. Okay, so I want you to write all these in, even if you know the meaning, because they're important. Trader on page 10. Skirmish on page 11. Pitchforks on page 11. Rabble rousers on page 12. Spinning groups on page 13. And associate on page 13. Okay, so all this should be in your module workbook on page 52. Okay, and you should have all that recorded in your module workbook. So pause it and do that as you need to, okay? All right, so now I want you to look back in your module workbook in Unit 1, and I want you to spend a few minutes, well, you're at home, so you're going to spend a few minutes making connections between Act 1, Scene 1 of Divided Loyalties and the information in the nonfiction passages in Unit 1. And class will discuss these at home. You just need to think about them. And let's check in on the learning targets one more time. I can determine the gist and meaning of unfamiliar words and phrases in Act 1, Scene 1 of Divided Loyalties, and I can make connections between Act 1, Scene 1 of Divided Loyalties and the informational text in Unit 1. I think we successfully did that. Way to go today, friends. Have a wonderful day.